Cadet Vexlar stood at the center of the Galactic Military Academy's combat arena, his chest swelling with pride. In the 3 years since arriving from his homeworld of Zindar, he had dominated every sparring match, earned top marks in combat theory, and secured his reputation as the finest hand-to-hand fighter in his class. His species' natural advantages, 4 arms, enhanced reflexes, and a chitinous exterior made him virtually unbeatable. Today would be no different. His opponent was a human. Instructor Krell, a battle-scarred veteran from the Korgoth Wars, observed from the elevated platform alongside a panel of senior officers. The Academy had recently begun accepting students from newly contacted species, and humans were among the latest additions. Vexlar had heard rumors about their planet, some backwater death world on the galactic fringe, but he paid them little attention. The female standing across from him looked utterly unremarkable. Lieutenant Sarah Martinez was average height for her species, with a lean build that seemed almost fragile compared to Vexlar's armored physique. She wore the standard Academy training uniform and stretched casually, rolling her shoulders as if preparing for a light exercise rather than combat evaluation. "This is a standard sparring match," Instructor Krell announced. "Non-lethal techniques only. First to yield or become incapacitated loses. Begin when ready." Vexlar bowed respectfully. He wasn't cruel, just confident. "I will try to end this quickly, human. No need for you to suffer embarrassment." Sarah's expression didn't change. "Appreciate the concern." He moved first, utilizing the technique that had won him dozens of matches. His 4 arms created a whirlwind of strikes, each one calculated to overwhelm and disorient. It had never failed. Except Sarah wasn't there. She slipped inside his guard with unsettling ease, her movements economical and precise. Before Vexlar could adjust, she had gripped one of his primary arms and twisted. He felt the pressure immediately, not painful yet, but a clear warning. He tried to counter with his other arms, but she moved with him, using his own momentum against him. Every technique he'd mastered suddenly felt clumsy. She wasn't stronger than him. His species had triple the muscle density, but she understood leverage in ways that defied his training. "You're telegraphing," she said calmly, ducking under his strike. "Watch your footwork." The comment stung more than any blow. She was critiquing his form while fighting him. Vexlar abandoned technique for raw aggression, determined to use his superior strength to overwhelm her. He lunged forward, all 4 arms reaching to grapple and pin her. For a moment, he thought he had her. Then Sarah dropped low, wrapped her legs around his primary arm, and fell backward in a controlled motion. Vexlar felt himself pulled off balance, his arm hyperextended in a joint lock he didn't know existed. He tried to pull free, but the angle was wrong, the pressure increasing exponentially. "Tap out," Sarah said, her voice still calm. "This is a joint lock. If you keep pulling." Pride overrode survival instinct. Vexlar yanked harder, determined to break free through sheer force. The crack echoed through the arena like a gunshot. Pain exploded up Vexlar's arm as his elbow joint gave way. He shrieked, collapsing to the mat as Sarah immediately released him and rolled away. The medical team rushed forward, but Vexlar barely noticed through his shock and humiliation. She had warned him. She had tried to let him yield with dignity. "Match concluded," Instructor Krell announced, his voice carrying a note of grim satisfaction. "Medical team, attend to Cadet Vexlar." As they carried him to the infirmary, Vexlar heard the instructor's conversation through his pain-addled consciousness. "The human demonstrated exceptional restraint," one officer observed. "She could have ended that match in the first 30 seconds. "Indeed," Krell agreed. "Humans call that discipline. They evolved fighting their own kind, persistent predators who learned to disable prey without killing. On a planet where everything was a threat, they became the apex predator by mastering control. Perhaps we should reconsider the combat curriculum. Another instructor mused. If humans consider this friendly sparring, our cadets are woefully unprepared. Over the following weeks, Vexlar's arm healed with advanced medical technology. His ego took considerably longer. He watched from the sidelines as Sarah sparred with other cadets, each match ending swiftly and decisively. She never gloated, never boasted. She simply fought with the casual competence of someone who had been taught that violence was a tool, not a spectacle. When Vexlar finally returned to training, Sarah approached him after class. Want to run through some basics? She offered. I can show you that joint lock properly this time. He hesitated, then nodded. Pride had cost him an arm and his reputation. Perhaps humility could teach him something more valuable. As they began, Vexlar realized the terrifying truth. Humans didn't dominate through strength or natural weapons. They dominated through understanding combat at a level that came from millions of years of fighting for survival. And Sarah had been holding back the entire time.